Hi guys, my name is Hemi Babali. I'm a professional footballer and a free agent here in Brazil. Today, I just wanted to record my feelings, record my sentiments, minimal editing, minimal cuts, so to speak, and I just wanted to talk about the realities of being a professional footballer, especially being a free agent, especially experiencing all the things that I've experienced, all the countries I've been to, all of the different things that I've seen and that I've done, and just the reality of what it feels like and the reality of the mental health struggles that footballers go through. Mental health is something that's being talked about a lot nowadays. It's a buzzword, especially in the football community. And I mean, Jesse Lingard's come out, talking about his mental health struggles. Thierry Henry recently on the Diary of a CEO podcast has come out about his mental health struggles throughout his career. And I mean, it's a story that is so common. It is an extremely common story, and it is something that, all great players, all professional players go through. There's so much that goes unsaid and untold in this industry, in this world, and you go through it, man. You absolutely go through it. And it's tough. It's super tough. You go through amazing things. I cannot sit here and say that I haven't done and experienced amazing things. I've been to countries that I never thought I would imagine I would have gone to. I've been to Croatia. I've been to Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Finland. I've been to Brazil. I've been all across the US with this sport. I've been, and I might go many more places. You never know, but that's the gift that football gives me. And I've met beautiful, amazing people that I never would have met otherwise. I've lived things. I've learned different cultures. I've spoken different languages. I've played with amazing players. I've met people. I've met Matt Sheldon from Become Elite. I've met Eric Friedlander from RickFit, current owner of FA Jurmala. I'm friends with Sohail Var, the owner of Al Kabila, and I've played with players that play at Cruzeiro. I've played with guys that have played for Corinthians, Bahia. I've played against players that have gone on to play for their national teams, who have gone on to play in the Europa League, the Champions League, and that's crazy to me. That's something, it's a dream. You dream of those moments. But as a footballer and as a human being, as a person, there's so much that I don't know how to explain. I mean, I feel, and you guys will feel this, sometimes you feel so alone. You can be surrounded by people that love you, that want the best for you, and you'll still feel alone sometimes because it's such a rare thing that people understand what an elite athlete really goes through. And it's tough, like I mentioned before, these elite players like Thierry Henry, Jesse Lingard, they talk about their mental health struggles, and they're at the top. They're the cream of the crop. They're the top players, absolute top players. And that's not even bringing into the account the stresses of free agency, like a situation that I'm in right now. One of the most complicated and one of the most downgrading moments is you're searching for a club, you're searching for an opportunity. You're at the level, you're good enough. Scouts know you're good enough, agents know you're good enough, coaches know you're good enough. And you'll get this close You'll get this close to an opportunity and it'll fall through for whatever reason, whether it's they don't have a foreigner spot, whether it's they don't have enough money, whether it's they don't have enough sponsors, whether they like you but they already have 3 guys in the position. That stuff is real, and that stuff takes a toll. It takes a very huge toll, especially over the years, and hearing no after no after no after no. It's tough because you have to power through those no's in order to get that one yes. That one yes that makes the difference, that changes everything. But it's so tough to just go through those rejections, to go through those situations that you don't have control over, and you just have to accept it because you can't change the situation, you can't change the outcome. My cats just fought. The toughest situations, come in those moments, and there's a lot of beauty in those moments as well. You meet a lot of people that support you endlessly, and you meet a lot of people that'll be there along for the ride, and it's a really rewarding thing. And it's rewarding, don't get me wrong, it's extremely rewarding to meet guys like Matt Sheldon, to meet guys like Eric Friedlander, to meet people, to meet fans at the club, Balvi, when I met all the fans at Balvi, when I met all the fans at Bilogorac in Croatia, or the support that I got when I was playing at Fluminense de Feira. Like, that stuff sticks with you. It really does, and it's beautiful because you become a part of these communities. And that's something else that actually is something really hard to cope with that I've found throughout my journey, is that you work so hard to integrate yourself into a community, and then you gotta go. Like, you don't know if you'll ever see those people ever again. I mean, I met amazing people, for example, at Marube. They had some of the best fans in all of Latvia. They really did. They had some of the best fans in Latvia, by far. They were at every game. They supported us at every single game, every derby, every away match, every home match. They were there. They made me feel like I was part of the club. They made me feel like I belonged there, the fans. And I don't know if I'll ever see them again because they're in Latvia and I'm not. I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna be in Latvia. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see all my friends from Balvi, all the people that I met outside the pitch, all the people that I met at Valpo when I was in college, all the people that I met at university in Indiana, which is a state I never thought I'd personally go to. And yet I ended up there, and I ended up in smack dab in the middle of the community, and I was meant to be, a figurehead, because I was part of the Valparaiso soccer team. I had to set an example for the younger generation, for the younger kids. I had to, and so I became a part of that community. And it's something that rips away at you bit by bit by bit by bit, because you go to these communities, you become a part of these communities, and then you don't know if you're ever going to go back again. And there's so much that you go through as a footballer that you would never go through in real life. I mean, real life, I should say. I mean, some of the things that you sacrifice, the sacrifices you go through. For example, I mean, I can't even, the amount of parties that I've missed, the amount of friends that I've left behind. I've left behind so many friends. I've left behind so many people that I cared about and that I still care about. You know, my family is back in the US and I haven't seen them in forever, partly by my choice because I want to keep chasing this dream, but it's a sacrifice that I have to willingly make. I have to willingly make that sacrifice. I didn't see my girlfriend for a whole year because I made that sacrifice. I openly, willingly made that sacrifice to not go and see her because I had a season to play. I had an obligation to my sport. I had an obligation to being an athlete. And that's something that people will never understand that are outside of an athlete. If you are a young athlete, if you are a young footballer, a young soccer player, that is something you have to learn early, very, very early. Sacrifice is required. There is no way you're gonna do anything in this life without sacrifice. Discipline is a sacrifice. Not going to parties is a sacrifice. Losing out on friends is a sacrifice. Sacrifice is the most important thing. If you want to get from here to here, it is the paramount thing that you need to learn, and it's going to take a toll on you. It will eat away at you mentally. It eats away at every professional footballer. It eats away at the Brazilian players that move to Real Madrid at 17 years old and they don't see their families in Brazil. It eats away at the kid who gets scouted at 13 years old and then has to move across the country in order to play. I can tell you hundreds of stories of players just like that, of people just like that, that go through these hellish things in order to accomplish their dreams. And it's tough, and I don't know what I'm just ranting at this point. I'm literally ranting. I hope you guys keep watching and subscribe and like the video, and I hope that you guys take something of value out of this because it's the truth, and I want to speak the truth out there into the world, into the footballing industry. The footballing industry doesn't tell you these things. You know, the footballing industry doesn't care about your mental health. You know, they're doing it now because it's trendy. But when did they care? They don't care. Because in the footballing industry, you have to learn as well that you are just a piece of meat. I remember when I was young, I was 14, 15, and an Iran national team scout was apparently at one of my games. And I didn't know this at the time because, I didn't know, I had no idea, but he ended up talking to my dad, and he was telling my dad that the football industry is like a meat market. There's always a better cut just about to be discovered, so you have to stay relevant. And that's something that eats away at you because you're constantly chasing. I'm constantly chasing relevance. I'm constantly chasing attention from a coach, from a scout, from a sporting director. You know, I'm constantly messaging someone, hey, like, I want to bring this, I bring value to your club. I want to come in and I want to make an immediate impact. You know, would you be able to give me a trial? Would you be able to, secure this for me to do this? You go through that, but you're just a piece of meat and you're extremely easily replaceable. When I was in college, I was a D1 university student athlete, soccer, Valparaiso University. I was 17 years old when I came in. I was 16 when I was recruited. You know, I was the youngest player on the team, 17 years old. And I thought that made me something big. I really did. I thought it made me something, like, oh, I've got so much time to develop. I've got this, I've got that, I've got that. And it's not how it works. You don't provide results, you get replaced. And I got replaced very fast. Blink of an eye. I got replaced. And you will be replaced. You are replaceable. You are disposable. as a footballer, you're disposable. That's something that it's sad. It's a sad reality, but it's the truth, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm ranting. I mean, I do know why, because I want a vessel. I need a vessel to get out these emotions, because it eats away at you. It's something that's constantly in the back of my mind, you know? It's something that's constantly in the throes of my mind, because I'm always, despite training multiple times a day, despite, you know, having hundreds of connections, potential opportunities, blah, 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 I still have those doubts. Those doubts never leave. You know, that's something that footballers don't talk about. The loneliness, the doubts, the sacrifice, and the regret. When I was in Latvia last year, I said last year, 2022, when I was in Latvia and I was playing, I got a trial opportunity in Finland. But right before I found out about this trial opportunity in Finland, I actually found out that my best friend of 20 years had passed away. And I wasn't there to say goodbye. I couldn't go to his funeral. I missed his funeral. You know, and I still regret that. I still regret that fact. I still regret, you know, that I couldn't have been there for him. And I remember, like, the last thing he ever said to me, the last thing that my best friend of 20 years ever said to me right before I went off to Lithuania, he was, "You're gonna get that contract in Lithuania. Go get that contract. I love you, and I'll see you later. We'll catch up soon." And then I found out like a month later that he passed away. And I never was gonna see him again. And I had to hold in my tears, I had to hold in my emotions, and I had to pack up my stuff, and I had to get on a bus to Tallinn, Estonia, to get onto a ferry, to get to Helsinki, Finland, to go to a smaller city in Finland and go trial for this club in the second division. And I had to just hold in all my emotions. I had to bottle everything up. I had to bottle all of the feelings, you know, and I had to focus. I had to focus on this trial. I had to focus on this training session. I came into that training session and I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't focus. I had tears in my eyes, and I couldn't even lay off a pass correctly. I couldn't do anything. I remember getting in there. I couldn't even warm up correctly because I was so out of it. You know, it affected me so much that I couldn't even get through the warm up correctly because I was so distraught. I was bottling everything up, you know, and as footballers, we're used to bottling things up. We're used to hiding things away because we have to have this image that we're big and that we're strong and that we're powerful and that nothing can affect us and that we don't care what somebody says, or we don't care what happens outside the pitch, or we don't care if this and this happens because we'll just get on with it, you know, the next day is a new day, you know, but like this stuff has an effect. It really does. It has an effect. So guys, take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. See a psychologist, get help, talk to a friend. I'm doing this, I'm talking to you guys as a way for me to get things off of my chest, as a way for me to try and rationalize my emotions, as a way for me to try and, you know, get out all these things that I've internalized for so long, and I still continue to internalize. I continue to internalize these things to this day. I know I'm ranting. I just want to tell you guys the reality. The reality professional football, the reality of small-time professional football, the reality of pursuing this dream, the reality of pursuing this dream, of pursuing this career. It's not easy, and you're gonna want to quit so many damn times. You're gonna want to quit. You're gonna want to quit every dang day. Sometimes I want to quit so bad, but I know that if I quit, then all the suffering that I've gone through in my life, especially because of this sport, is going to be all in vain. And I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let all this suffering be in vain. And I also want to honor the good things that this sport has given me, all the people, the good people that this sport has brought into my life, all of the good opportunities that this sport has brought into my life. The fact that I went to university because of soccer. Like, I mean, yeah, I had good enough grades, but I only wanted to go to university if I went to play soccer. And so that's what happened. I got to experience the Division I lifestyle. You know, I met so many amazing people. I learned new languages. I learned new cultures. I learned more about myself. You know, that stuff is also amazing, and I want to honor that as well by continuing to play, continuing to learn, continuing to be better, and sharing my knowledge. I want to share what I've learned, because I know I'm not this big-time super star player yet. You know, inshallah I'll get there one day, but I want to share the realities of what I've learned and what I've experienced with you guys, because you guys might be going through the same thing, and I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. You will never, ever walk this path alone. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there just like you and me who will never let you walk this path alone. And I hope that resonates. I hope that rings true. And I hope that you talk to a friend. I hope that you can talk to somebody. I hope that you can find a way to deal with these issues that come up throughout your career, whether that's wherever you are in your career, whether you're still an amateur footballer or a youth footballer, whether you're semi-professional or in college or professional. You know, you're gonna go through these issues, and I hope you know, whether it's being on the bench, whether it's stuff outside of the football pitch, whether it's just not playing well, being in a rut, you can talk to people, and I hope you realize that. Love you all. Please subscribe. It'll help me out in my journey a lot. So if you want to hear more truths, please subscribe. Love y'all so much.